Hey there, this is Andrew bringing you another Keyforge deck reveal and review. This is going to be a quick one because I've already been through this deck, but this is a Worlds Collide deck with that I opened playing Blind Sealed with my daughter Allie. It's called Silvar, Consul of the High-Strung Villa. It has Saurian, Untamed, and Dees. And the first card we're going to see is Legacy, and it's a pretty cool one. It's Arise. So it's a Legacy Arise, and I'll tell you, I would have loved to see some Infurnaces with this Legacy Arise, and I don't get any. But I still think there's some pretty cool stuff in here. So I was able to make it work in the one game I played with it so far, but in kind of an odd way. So yeah, well, let's get through it. So we have Arise, then we have a Buzzle, a Dendrix. So I should actually explain the cards. Arise, when you play it, you choose a house, you return each creature of that house from your discard pile to your hand, and you gain a chain. It's nicest if you can use it for Dees cards. The Dees cards in here are not as high impact as some of the ones you'll see in Coda, so it's not as good as it is in Coda in that sense, but at least it's not as good as it is when you're pulling like a Restringentus and 2 Ember Imps and a Charette. But we have some stuff, and then I think theoretically it might work to pull up cards from one of the other 2 houses, but haven't done that yet. Okay, so Buzzle is a 3-power beast with Skirmish that has Play Fight. You may purge one of Buzzle's neighbors if you do Ready Buzzle. That's fine. We have Dendrix, which is a 5-power demon that after it fights has your opponent discard a random card from their hand. Harbinger of Doom is a 2-power demon with 3 armor and destroy each creature. So this is your board wipe in here. We have 2 ways to pop this on the turn that it's played, so that's nice. Imp Spectre is a 2-power imp with destroyed, purge a random card from your opponent's hand. This is fine. I like Dust Imp better because I'd rather have 2 amber, but sometimes you get really lucky and you're really glad you purged a card. Bornet's Touch is great. It's an action with a bonus amber. When you play it, you reveal the top 5 cards of a player's deck, probably your opponent's, and you pick a card from those 5 to purge, and then you shuffle the rest back in. So that's nice. Obsidian Forge is one of our ways to destroy the Harbinger on the turn it's played. Obsidian Forge is an artifact with a bonus amber. It exhausts to sacrifice any number of friendly creatures. Then you may forge a key at +6 current cost, reduced by 1 for each creature sacrificed this way. If you do, destroy Obsidian Forge. So, for one thing, if you're forging your 3rd key this way, that's a great way to close out the game. So, this can be good that way, although, of course, you're forging for 12, essentially, 12 minus however many creatures you destroy. But it also works to kill a Harbinger. So you can play the Harbinger and then on the same turn action the Obsidian Forge to sacrifice the Harbinger. Now, then you choose not to forge a key, and you don't end up even destroying the Obsidian Forge. So you keep the Obsidian Forge, but you board wiped. So that's one way to do it. Poltergeist is an action with a bonus amber that says use an artifact controlled by any player as if it were yours. Destroy that artifact. That's nice. And then Scullion is our second way of killing the Harbinger. Scullion is a 7-power demon with 2 armor. After you play it, you sacrifice a friendly creature. So obviously the Scullion itself will end up dead, but if you are really desperate for a board wipe, this will give it to you. Now the way I ended up using the Arise in the game I played is that I arised my opponent was ahead on creatures. I arised the Harbinger, played it, and then used the Obsidian Forge to kill it, and wiped the board that way. So that didn't feel like a great use of Arise, but it was important in that moment, I felt. 2 Soul Keepers, that's an upgrade with a bonus amber that gives the creature destroy the most powerful enemy creature. That's very nice. There's a weird synergy I realized, didn't end up using, but realized, that I'll point out to you later, but there's an interesting synergy here. And then with one of the other cards in the deck. And then we have Creeping Oblivion, which is an action with a bonus amber. When you play it, you purge up to 2 cards from a discard pile. Alright, now, we're going to go through Saurian. So we have Imperium. It's an action with a bonus amber. Play it, ward 2 friendly creatures. That's nice. Importantly, warded creatures don't count toward the total for Obsidian Forge because ward replaces destruction. So if a creature popped its ward instead of being sacrificed, instead of being destroyed, then it was not sacrificed, and so it doesn't count towards the, reduced by 1 for each creature sacrificed this way. A creature that was warded was not sacrificed, so it doesn't count. Alright, so Imperium wards 2 creatures. Odoak the Patrician is a 5-power dinosaur politician with play capture 1, and while it has amber on it, your amber cannot be stolen. Phalanx Strike, action with the bonus amber. Choose a creature, deal 1 to it for each friendly creature. You may exalt a friendly creature to repeat the preceding effect. So nice board control there. Really nice spot removal. I like it. Retorgalum is a 3-power dinosaur philosopher with play. Your opponent's keys cost +3 during their next turn. And Reap, you may exalt Retorgalum. If you do, your opponent's keys cost +3 during their next turn. So, yeah, really nice effect there. The exalt is typically worth it because you're costing them 3 more and you're giving them 1 maybe if the Gallum dies. So it's usually worth it if they're actually going to forge on their next turn anyway. If you're doing it to prevent, sometimes it's a little more iffy. Alright. And I've always thought this was a 2-headed creature, but now that I'm looking at it, I think it's 1-headed, that's its tail, and it's like smacking something with the tail, but I don't know. That's weird. I'm not totally confident what's going on there. Huh. If you know, tell me. Alright, we have 2 Senator Shrixes. Senator Shrix is a 4-powered dinosaur politician with an amber. You may spend amber on it as if it were in your pool, and as play Reap, you can exalt it. This is what I mean by, these are good creatures to arise. So theoretically, if you're late in the deck and all your dinos are gone, arising for them and then playing on them on the next turn would be a great turn. Phalanx Strike is really nice with the Shrix because you can exalt the Shrix to do more damage and then hopefully spend off of it. And you're actually getting yourself a key rather than giving your opponent an amber. Ancient Power is an action with a bonus amber. When you play it, you ward each friendly creature with amber on it. Theoretically, that's 3 of these on play, so that could be really nice. City-State Interest is an action that says each friendly creature captures 1. This with Ancient Power is excellent. You capture and then Ancient Power. If you get it in the right order, it's fantastic. Unfortunately, this deck doesn't have any archives, so we are very dependent on what order we draw things in and just have to live with it. Gargantodon is a 16-power beast that enters play stunned. It only deals 4 damage when fighting. That's whether it's attacking or defending. And each amber that would be stolen by anybody is captured by a creature controlled by the active player instead. This deck doesn't steal anything, so this does nothing but help you. There was a recent question about the interaction between Odoak and Gargantodon, and oh no, it was between Discombobulator and Gargantodon. Odoak says your amber cannot be stolen, so so I believe Gargantodon, that it's just not stolen. Gargantodon isn't relevant. I think cannot just wins, but ask your judge. Paraguardian is a 6-power dinosaur soldier with an armor. Has Reap. You may exalt it. If you do, ward each of its neighbors. That's very nice. And then lastly, we have Philophosaurus. Oh, not lastly, because we have a pterodactyl coming. But we have Philophosaurus. It's a 4-power dinosaur philosopher. This does give us some archives, potentially. When it reaps, you may look at the top 3 cards of your deck. You archive 1, add 1 to your hand, and discard 1. This is a great effect. It's also 4-power without elusive, so the chances of surviving are not great, considering how good the effect is. Now, in this deck, there's no way to do it twice in 1 turn, so so it's less powerful and therefore maybe less of a critical target, but yeah, your mileage may vary. So it's great if it can fire off, but Good luck. And then yeah, Pterodactyl is a 12 power beast that enters play stunned. It only deals 4 when fighting, but before fight it deals 4 to each neighbor of the creature it's fighting. So that can be really effective board control once it's working, which takes a little while. All right. Yeah. Okay. Lastly, oh, and you know what? I was wrong about the thing I said about Soulkeeper and Synergy. Well, I still realized the Synergy, but it wasn't in this deck. It was in Allie's deck. Soulkeeper plus Reassembling Automaton is really interesting because if it's on your turn and you do something that would destroy your automaton, you can choose to trigger the Soulkeeper effect first, then trigger the replacement effect on the Reassembling Automaton afterwards. So you get to destroy your opponent's most powerful creature. And the Reassembling Automaton ends up not dead, and of course the artifact is still, or the upgrade is still on it. So you can do that turn after turn if you want, which is pretty crazy. So interesting potential there. Alright, let's look at the Untamed. We have 1 Deepwood Druid. I don't love this. It's a 3 power Elf Witch with Deploy and Play, Reap, Fully Heal a neighboring creature. That's fine. But yeah, I don't love it, and we don't have a lot in here that just wants to fight. The Dendrix maybe, but I don't foresee getting a ton of value out of this. Harmonia, we have 2 of these. It's a 2 power Human Witch with Elusive. After you play a creature, if there are more enemy creatures than friendly creatures, gain an amber. That includes the Harmonia itself. So pretty good if you have this when your opponent is ahead on board. You can just use it to burst a lot of amber, especially if you drop both. Molefin is a 3 power beast with Hazardous 3. And then it says after amber is stolen from you, you deal 1 damage to each enemy creature for each amber stolen. So a little more steel hate there. Mustik Murmook is a 4 power beast. When you play it, you deal 4 damage to a creature, and it makes each player's keys cost +1. Importantly, there needs to be another creature on the board when you play this, or it'll just kill itself. Song of the Wild isn't going to trigger a lot, but when it does, it's cool. It's an action that says for the remainder of the turn, each friendly creature gains Reap, gain 1 amber. So that's cool if you can do it, but I wouldn't bank on it. We do have a lot of creatures in here, though, in Untamed, so it could fire. Unnatural Selection is an action with a bonus amber. You choose 3 friendly creatures and 3 enemy creatures and destroy everything else, all the other creatures. Unsuspecting Prey is an action that deals 2 damage to up to 3 undamaged creatures. No bonus amber on it, which is a bummer. Grasping Vines is an action with a bonus amber, and you return up to 3 artifacts to their owner's hands. Really nice artifact control. And we have the Poltergeist too, so artifact control in 2 houses, that's really nice. Lodon is nice with so many creatures, because if we get this late and our creatures have been killed, then we get the bonus amber, and then if there are 3 or more untamed creatures in your discard pile, you gain 2 amber. Shuffle each untamed creature from your discard pile into your deck. So really nice there. If you get it on the same turn as an Unnatural Selection, you can potentially, orchestrate things so that you have 3 untamed creatures in your discard pile and can pull that off. And then you get to redraw them. Pampakajaga is a 3 power beast with Skirmish. Creatures to the left of it in the battle line gain Skirmish. That's really nice if you can keep it out. And then Roxador is a 4 power beast with Skirmish. It only deals 2 damage when fighting, but after it fights, you stun the attacked creature. So yeah, this was pretty interesting. It has decent amber generation potential. It can turn board control into cheap forging with the Shrixes, and it has some purge and stuff, and interesting things. And yeah, I'm excited about seeing more how the Legacy Rise works out, because that's kind of a fun little tool to have. So that was Sylvar, Consul of the High Strung Villa. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it and that you will get out there and forge some keys.